Shadows of Time, German, Schatten der Zeit is a 2004 romantic Bengali language German film, shot in Calcutta, India. It is the first feature-length film of Academy Award-winning director Florian Gallenberger, and stars Prashant Narayanan, Tannishtha Chatterjee, Irrfan and Tillotama Shome in pivotal roles. Florian Gallenberger, the young German director, began his film career with an Oscar for his graduation film Quiero Ser, I Want to Be in 2001. The film was a short film about two brothers separated in the streets of Mexico due to a misunderstanding. From Mexico, the filmmaker moves to Kolkata and captures the life and times of two child laborers who try to escape the drudgery of a carpet factory in pre-independence India. It's a love story which spawns a lifetime and goes through the usual gamut of heartbreak, clandestine joy, and separation. Young Ravi uses his life savings to save co-worker Masha from the clutches of a sex worker. Masha flees the factory and promises to wait for him in a temple in Calcutta on every full moon. Soon, she loses count of the number of full moons, for fate prevents the duo from meeting and life takes them on their separate paths. Ravi becomes a prosperous carpet merchant and Masha settles down to a life of domesticity. But love prevails. And the love story transcends the shadows of time. Not quite Salam Bombay, the film has a languid charm which grows on you. All you need is a bit of patience. Now I'm explaining movie plot. The film opens with the elderly Ravi, Tannishtha Chatterjee, driving to an abandoned carpet factory in West Bengal. As he explores the remains of the factory, he finds his bed and other memoirs. The story flashbacks to the early 1940s in pre-independent India, with Ravi Gupta, Sikandar Agarwal, a child laborer in the factory, saving up his earnings so that he can leave the factory one day. Ravi befriends a girl of his own age, Masha, Das, who's been sold to the factory by her father. When the obstinate factory manager, Biplab Dasgupta, tries to sell Masha to a rich man, Ravi unsuccessfully tries to match the bid. He subsequently gives her the money to escape, and as they part, Masha promises to wait for Ravi at every full moon at Calcutta's Great Kali Temple. Years later, the adult Ravi, Prashant Narayanan, leaves the factory and sets out for Calcutta. He begins working for an old carpet seller and his granddaughter, Deepa, Tillotama Shome. Masha, Tannishtha Chatterjee, has become a professional courtesan in Calcutta, romanced by a customs officer, Yani Mishra, Irrfan. Masha goes to the Shiva temple every full moon to possibly meet Ravi, who himself is trying to search for her. They almost meet one night, but are separated by the chance arrival of Deepa, who Masha thinks is Ravi's wife. Masha decides to marry Yani, and Ravi, thinking Masha has forgotten him, finally marries Deepa. Ravi renovates the carpet shop and becomes an exporter of carpets. A few years later, he meets Yani, who had once bought a carpet from him to impress Masha. Yani invites him and Deepa to a dinner party, where Ravi and Masha finally meet. Perplexed at first, their mutual attraction gradually turns into an extramarital affair. When Yani announces that he has been transferred to Kerala, Masha gets scared at the thought of losing Ravi again and asks him to take some action. Confused, Ravi arrives at the railway station but lets her down. The two leave, with Yani telling Ravi, just before boarding, that Masha is pregnant. A few years later, Yani visits Ravi and tells him that Masha delivered a boy in Kerala, but he came to know that it wasn't his, and he threw them out of his house. Ravi goes to the brothels, where he finds Masha and their son, but she refuses to see him. Ravi departs, sliding a packet full of money into her room before leaving. The film comes to the present time, where elderly Ravi is at the factory. He hears a little girl and her grandmother in the courtyard. He starts talking to them and finds out that the grandmother is Masha, who is still waiting for Ravi to come, because this was the place where they first met. Ravi is astounded, but in the end he decides to walk away. The little girl asks her grandmother who he was, to which she replies, "It was Ravi." However, Gallenberger first came to India in April 2001 for research and spent around a year and a half researching and understanding life. He was moved by a radio interview he had earlier heard, of a little girl working as a laborer in an Indian carpet factory, which prompted him to leave for India and research a story. He set his story in Calcutta, which had earlier attracted renowned filmmakers from all over the world like Jean Renoir, Roberto Rossellini, Louis Malle and Roland Joffé to come and make a film in the city. But Gallenberger decided that unlike the others, he was going to make it in Bengali language rather than in English or his native German. The film was partly funded by the German government and was produced by Helmut Dietl and Norbert Preuss. Preuss, in an interview, stated though the story was written in German by Gallenberger, the Indian setting and Bengali language were chosen to maintain authenticity. Noted Indian theatre actor Dilip Shankar, who did casting in Myra Nesmansoon Wedding and Pan Nolin Samsara, was appointed as the casting director for Shadows of Time. Aishwarya Rai, Sir Ben Kingsley and Vivek Oberoi were being considered for major roles in the film, but the roles of adult Ravi and adult Masha went to actors Prashant Narayanan and Tannishtha Chatterjee respectively. Gallenberger had spotted Narayanan in Chal and was impressed by him. For the young Ravi and Masha, more than 7,000 schoolchildren were auditioned before they narrowed it down to Sikandar Agarwal and Tumpa Das. For portraying the old age of the characters, veteran Bengali actor Soumitra Chatterjee and actor Utpal Dutt's widow Sova Sen were chosen. Gallenberger hired a Bengali communicator for a crash course in the language for non-Bengali members of the 100-member crew, which include 10 Germans. The lead actor Prashant Narayanan too had to take lessons in the language as he is originally from South India and did not know Bengali. The shooting of the film began in March 2003 at locations in and around Calcutta, and was finished in 12 weeks.